Hey, I've got a bourbon barrel-aged barley wine from Barreled Souls. It's their Big Bang. It's my favorite bottle or art here. So this is a Woodford Reserve bourbon barrel. They aged this in for 11 months, 26 days. I bought this, I guess about 12 months ago. That's when 10 months ago. That's the bottle date. Bottle number 1443 out of 1500, 13.3% alcohol. I've had some other barrel-aged iterations of this beer and keg-aged versions of this beer and fresh versions, and I really like it. When it's fresh, it's a pretty hoppy, bitter American-style barley wine, but it changes a lot when they do the barrel aging. And I haven't had this one, but yeah, it's one of my favorites. I think some of the barrel-aged versions are some of the best barley wines you can even get. It's up there with like Hill Farmstead's Aaron, I would say. But hopefully this is still good after a while in the bottle. Got some fizzy carbonation there. And it's not super duper dark. You can see some ruby through there. Well carbonated. Yeah, that's one thing about a lot of Barreled Souls beers is they are. Even the big beers are very carbonated. You can hear that fizzing. It makes the head a little bit cola-like, which isn't my favorite, but doesn't always affect the feel, especially because after a while, it'll take a while to drink this beer, and the carbonation will die down a bit. Ooh boy, yep. That smells great. It smells like a bourbon barrel-aged barley wine. It's like, right off the bat, big, milky caramel. And some sort of vanilla coconutty type thing. But just the most intense caramel aroma. Really, really, really big caramel aroma, I would say. I managed to pour this without any chunks. There are definitely some chunks on the bottom. But you can see that this isn't super dark. Some barley wines these days, brewers are making them like almost looking like black. But this is not that. There might still be a light hint of citrusy hops in there. Maybe that's why I like these, because it's not, it has a little bit more complexity. Like there's a little bit, maybe of an orange marmalade-y type thing. A little bit of a spice. Like it smells like it's gonna be sweet, but it's not gonna be like Bourbon County barley wine, just straight syrup. And this is pretty cold. I'll see if I can warm it up a little bit. It's not ice cold though. That's good. But this smells great. It smells like what everyone would want from a bourbon barrel-aged barley wine. And the bourbon is not hot and scary. It's like just really big on caramel, toasty, coconutty, vanilla-y things. Yeah, a little bit of a milk chocolatey type thing, not diacetyl. And it's a very, very light hint of citrus zest or something like that to round it out. Pretty big body, quite sweet. The carbonation gives it just the lightest bit of prickle, and but you can see that the head sort of has dissipated quite a bit. But if I move it around, there are bubbles coming up the side, so it's definitely carbonated. But yeah, really nice. Just one sip, and it's just so much flavor. It's nutty. Definitely got like a Nutella thing happening, almost. Toasted nut, chocolatey, hazelnutty. Yeah, that's really nice. And that spritzy carb is making it so it's not quite perfect silk on the tongue. Maybe I can kill some of it, see if that helps the carbonation. But it also, I'm not against starting drinking these beers when they're a little bit cold, and also having a good amount of carbonation, because by the time I'm done finishing this in an hour plus, it'll be warm and it'll get flatter, and so you can experience the beer, you know, in several different ways and get different flavors and everything. That's the way to do most beers, I would say. Mm. Yeah, the taste is just perfect. I'm getting a little bit of heat coming out of my nose. It's just a spritzy feel. That's the only problem I would say with this. I'll have to look at my old reviews of some of their of the big bangs that I've had and see if I said that about the feel. But now you can see that the head's kind of totally dead. And a lot of people would look at this and say it's flat, but it's definitely not. It's got plenty of carbonation. I just don't understand why some brewers, you know, they can make beers that aren't super carbonated and they have a thick head. Even some brewers can make these big barrel-aged beers, and this one's not. Sometimes it's acidity, but I'm not getting a lot of acidity, and maybe there's a very slight plummy note to it. Mm-hmm. But it's not tart. Almost cherry, almost like cherry pipe tobacco or something. And it's definitely a bit sticky on the lips, but not too much. It's just really, really nice. Let's try to get it a little warmer now. You can still hear a little bit of carbonation. But the carbonation still, it helps, it makes it more drinkable, you know. Well, that's the only thing, the carbon and that feel. That's what I mark down on a lot of beers. That's one thing that I really think about. Not just being thick, but also is it silky? Does it taste like, you know, a rum and coke? You know, this is somewhere in between, but it's really nice. This is a 4.5 plus, but I think maybe I've had slightly better from barreled souls, but maybe I should have drank this, you know, sooner. I'm not getting any oxidation, so you definitely could age it longer. But I mean, with these barrel aged beers, it was in the barrel for almost a year. So why age it that much longer unless you want the barrel flavor to go away? Well, this one's not hot. It's really good. 4.5 plus.